Welcome to Bold Talk series where creativity, leadership, ideas, innovation come together. My name is Epi Ludvik, and today I have a privilege to have a short one-on-one conversation with Bryan Cassady, director of the Global Entrepreneurship Alliance and an entrepreneur who has built 8 companies across 6 countries, author of Cycles, and a global innovation expert on a mission to help 1 million entrepreneurs unlock growth. Bryan, great seeing you, and welcome to our Bold Talk series. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. I love the introduction, all that energy that comes out.
Absolutely, it's all about the energy. We give energy to each other. It's been a long time that we saw each other. This was the last time we saw each other in person. Was like back in the days when we used to do our crowdsourcing week conference in Brussels, and so we met there for the first time, and great that we stayed in touch and we got connected. You're doing some amazing work. Glad that we got reconnected again and had a great conversation, and want to bring the work that you're doing to our audience to see what Bryan Cassady is about. So, can you take us back first to the beginning of your journey and share what sparked your passion for entrepreneurship and innovation?
Oh my God, that goes back a long ways. That goes back to 16 years old. No,
Wherever you want to get started from. So.
okay. No, actually, you know, it started, coming out of my MBA program. And, I wanted to start a business. I wanted to start a business bad. And all the advice I got from people who were successful in their lives said, look, go work for somebody else for a while. So what I did is I went off, I worked for Procter and Gamble, did the things that you were supposed to do. And then on a beach in Turkey, I said, look, this is just too much. I can't continue doing it. And came back, quit my job. And from that, I did actually 11 startups, 6 different countries, sold 8 along the way. And the last part of my journey is actually kind of interesting. About 10 years ago, somebody asked me if I wanted to teach. And I said, who wants to teach? And it turns out that actually I like teaching. I like teaching a lot. And the reason I like teaching is, first of all, you're with young people. They keep you young. Second, they have an amazing bullshit detector. They will actually tell you what they think about what you're saying. And third, you just learn a lot while you're teaching. And so I set up recently a foundation to teach innovation and entrepreneurship, teaching instead of what I would call the fortunate few, the motivated many. So I'm teaching a lot of students in Nigeria, in India, in Pakistan, and Malaysia, and it's going quite well. And I'm looking for ways to extend it out. And the easiest way to extend it right now is with AI, because AI helps you do everything better, faster, and easier, but only if you use it right. I wonder if
Yeah.
that's a good introduction.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, you also just recently had a TED talk and how to pitch with an AI, how to create your pitch with an AI. That was really nice. We will share that on our link when we share your video. But you built successfully companies across different countries. Some of you sold them. What personal lesson or experiences from those ventures shape the way you approach entrepreneurship today?
I think probably the most important is realizing whatever idea you start out with, if you're going to be successful, it's very unlikely to be that idea in the end. So, building a business is a question of pivoting, turning, adapting, learning, and keep on going. And what I see is so many people that just say, look, they got their brilliant idea and they're so stuck with it. And I think the challenge that comes up is to keep your mind open, to keep listening, and to keep growing as you go. And that's probably the best lesson. And hence the title of my book, Cycles, which is about cycles for development and saying each time you do something, you get a little bit better. And if you get a little bit better over the long term, you get a lot better.
Yeah, that's a great book, by the way. We'll get back to it. But on the mission of a global entrepreneurship alliance is to coach and train 1 million entrepreneurs by 2027. What inspired you to set such a bold, ambitious goal?
To be honest with you, it was a coach I was working with. He said, Bryan, you can't just say you want to do a lot. He said, give me a number.
Yeah, you got
And
to
I
be
said, well,
clear, right?
shit.
You got to be very, very clear what you want, right?
And I said, 100 grand. And he said, Brian, I mean, you can do that in your sleep. What are you doing right now? Come on, let's make it a little bit tougher. And he pushed me to up the number a bit. And if I make it there, I'm going to be really sad because this gentleman has passed away since that time. But he would have been somebody I'd like to share it with. Where I am right now is about 30,000. So if I keep on going at this rate, it's going to take me 30 years. But I'm confident. I believe in the possibility of AI. I believe I'm going to get there.
Yeah. Well, I think one with the power of AI, two, the power of sharing, and so more of these kind of conversation we have, and they get inspired by the work that you do, and we're able to pass it on. And I think sometimes like we think that probably just the technology will do it, but in the end of the day, it's about human to human relationship. And more we do, like I know with myself, for example, right? When I made a decision that I want to connect with people in all four corners of Albania, I mean, not just the country where I'm right now, but in the whole world. I'm thinking about, okay, well, connecting is one thing, but having a good conversation is a completely different thing. So, how many good conversation you can have with people? And then I start making the math, and I start doing the reverse engineering. And this is also one of the reasons why we started doing these bold bold talk podcasts. These are short format, just to give us an idea and to connect with each other, because we don't get to do this. So I think the combination between doing this and powering with the technology, it will be just incredibly amazing. And I truly believe that you can do that too. So that's a good way to go. Now, with Cycles framework, can you explain how Cycles, your book Cycles? I read. I didn't go and read all of it, but I saw some of the camps that you have there. How you can you explain how Cycles helps entrepreneurs grow their business more effectively?
So, you know what? I'm going to take a step back just to say, and I agree with your connection with people very strongly. So, Cycles 1.0 was written with 22 people. Cycles 2.0, the generative organization, was written with 30 people. And actually, it's the power of really doing things together. It's not just a casual conversation, but working together that makes amazing stuff. And the second question you asked is, what is Cycles about and how does it help? It actually just structures your thinking process. You know, what you look at is, people think that people are successful by strokes of brilliance. And in fact, they're usually successful because they're disciplined and they do things right. And the ABCs framework, which we present, goes from alignment, figuring out what you want to do, building ideas, communicating, checking those ideas, systematically improving them. And each time that you go through that cycle, you get a little bit better. And what we can show is if people, are disciplined and do that effectively, they're they take away all the risks of failure, and in the end, they succeed in spite of themselves. And the challenge that comes up is how do you communicate that clearly with somebody? And what I chose to do is instead of having one voice, I came with 20 voices and saying, look, all these people agree with it, so you should as well. And I really do encourage you, if you do have the time, it's a good book. It's kind of fun. There's usually a story in every chapter, and it's usually pretty practical and hands on. It's not a boring business book.
No, it definitely it's not, and I like it. It has a nice, good, good illustrations, and it's really easy to read and has a complete, very figurative, easy to understand, and easy to follow.
No, and I think, for me, this book was actually the book that I wanted to teach my courses. If somebody else had written it, I would have used it. But I
Yeah,
said, well, shoot, it's not there. I'll write it. I can't say it led me to the land of riches. I mean, nobody makes a big profit out of writing a book, but there's a lot of psychological income in reaching out. And I've sold around 25,000 copies so far, which makes it better than most.
yeah,
Not a bestseller, but I think there's room to go.
yeah.
And the next book we came up with, the one we're doing right now is called the generative organization. And a lot of people said, oh, I like this stuff that you're doing, but wouldn't it be easier if you used AI to do this stuff? So, in fact, we took the framework of cycles and showed how you use AI to do all those things we talked about before.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah.
When are you planning to get this book published?
Well, I was planning to in February, but you know
Yeah.
what
Well,
they
you know,
say: people make plans
writing
and
books
God laughs.
is rewriting and rewriting, so I'm sure.
So
Yeah.
right now it's planned for launch in July. I got the last drafts this week, and I've got two long weekends coming up, and I'll sit down and read the book from cover to cover twice and go through the edits, and it should be out on the bookshelves in July.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to that. Now, you know, Brian, entrepreneurship often comes with uncertainty and tough choices that you have to make. Uh, you're always constantly learning. Can you share a moment from your own journey where you faced a difficult decision and how you navigated through it?
Oh, this is long enough. The statute of limitations is probably passed. I'd started a company in Belgium, and I was doing really well, probably a little bit too well. It was doing promotions for fast moving consumer goods, and one of the leading retailers in the country wasn't too happy with what we're doing. And he called all my clients and he said, look, if you buy anything from Mr. Cassidy again, your cat foods will be with the orange juices, and so on and so forth. And I said, oh my God, this is illegal. They can't do this. And I was left with a tough decision. I could go to my lawyers, try to take them on, and it would come back maybe 2 years. Or I could just eat some humble pie and go talk to them. And sometimes what you need to do is eat your humble pie and do the right things, even if they don't feel right. And that for me is a perfect example of, you have to keep your goal in mind, because the goal is not to be right, but it's to be successful sometimes.
I love it. Wow, this is amazing. And and a lot of times we assume things like it's a worst case, and we assume that this is not going to go well because there's a lot of things that clouds our mind. But when you sit down and have a conversation and you are just being you're being just transparent and you want to know the reason and you start to find that middle ground. I've seen a lot of situations they became a great partners. And so how did it ended up with them?
The ending goal is I paid them a lot of money. So they did something wrong, but I still ended up paying them money. But I lived to fight another day, and I sold the company 3 years later.
Okay.
So, and I'm not saying, to throw your morals out,
Yeah.
but I think it's sometimes you have to pick your fights. You have to do the right thing, but pick your fights along the way and make sure you have your end goal in mind. And for
Yeah.
me, stopping business for 2 years wasn't a solution that was going to work.
Yeah. um, really good lesson here. Brian, this is a short format conversation. I'd love to have another great conversation with you when you're about to launch the book, or when you launch the book. Um, I
Yeah.
truly admire your work. You're doing a fantastic work helping the entrepreneurs. Where should the entrepreneurs look out for your work? Where should they look for?
There's a couple places they can go. Probably best place, just visit me on LinkedIn. I'm the only Bryan Cassady with BryanCassady in the world, so that's easy. And I put up about every 2-3 weeks a conference promoting the book, where we talk about different aspects of AI and how to do it more effectively. I'm also launching a few different YouTube videos right now to promote the book. And the one that's come out right now, I'm really excited about. And maybe you can put the link in. It's about moving from using AI to working with AI. And the reality is, most people aren't successful using AI. In fact, they estimate less than 1 in 10 sees real benefit. But the ones who do get benefit approach AI differently. Instead of it being an oracle giving you the answers, it becomes a muse which is helping you with your creativity, but you still keep your brains on. And it's a really powerful message. And I think so many people can learn from that. So, check me out on LinkedIn, check me out on YouTube. Um, Thumbs up or thumbs down. I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, great. I like having the unique name myself too as well. I'm the only Epi Ludvik, so you can look me anywhere. You can find with just with this name. You have to search up for any other Epi Ludvik. So great that we both are unique. Now, Brian, what does the word bold mean to you?
Bold. I think it means doing more than you ever thought was possible. And I think you're not being bold if you do what's comfortable. You're being bold if you do more than you ever thought you could do.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. Get uncomfortable,
Yeah.
and a lot
Get
of
out of
time.
your comfort zone.
Yeah,
Stretch.
yeah. Stretch your mind and stretch your body. Brian, so great to see you, man. You're doing amazing work. Thank you for joining me in this short Bold Talk series, and look forward to seeing you soon again. Until next time, take care, be great, and be bold always.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Epi. I love your mission. Bold is the future. Be bold, be brave, be wonderful. Follow Epi Ludvik. Thank you very
Thank
much.
thank you, Brian. Take care. Bye bye.